Hey, this is Jordan from Jersey, and this is what I thought of the comics I read the week of October 14th, 2009. And this week, we've got a first issue, a final issue, a milestone issue, and an issue that's just awesome altogether. But let's start things off with the final issue, and that is All Hail Megatron, issue 16 of 12. And quite frankly, I said last time I was ready for this series to be done. It had strayed away from its original theme of what if Megatron won. It had gotten very convoluted and rooted in Transformers mythos, which, hey, I understand that has its benefits, except that I don't really know all that G1 mythos, so I was ready for it to be done. But I'm very happy this is the last issue because I actually quite enjoyed both of the two stories. The first one is about Witwicky, who's in the hospital after a Transformers beatdown, and you kind of get some of his story. And then the final story is a Bumblebee story. They're both very good. I'm glad the series is done, though, because, quite frankly, it was time for it to be over, and it's nice for it to go out on a high note. So if you like the rest of the series, pick this one up. Otherwise, go with the first 12, if anything, and skip the last 4. And next up, we have Ender's Game, Command School, issue 2 of 5. And this series, along with Ender's Shadow, continue to be excellent. This one continues the trend of crossing over a little bit with the last issue of Ender's Shadow, but just for a few pages, and I'm really loving the series. Now, quite frankly, it's been probably 5 years or so since I read Ender's Game, and I've only read it once. So the memory of the book has dissipated enough where it's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that, but I don't know exactly where it's going. So I think it's really working to my advantage because, quite frankly, I get to experience all the twists and turns almost like they were the first time I read them. Now, granted, the final major twist of the book, anyone who's read it knows, that I haven't forgotten. But it is nice to see all these other things and be like, hey, the name Petra, I remember that character. I don't remember a lot about her, but I do remember the name. So, you know, different things like that. I don't think I've talked before about the art of this book. I don't even know what style to really call the art, but it is beautiful. I mean, it's almost you get a lot of bright colors to simulate space and all these things. Very dreamlike quality. The faces are fairly realistic, a little bit cartoony. But the art overall, I mean, it's just very cool stuff. You get very dynamic shots and, mess with your perceptions of gravity and things like that, just like the book does and Ender does with his troops. So, hey, anyway, if you have not checked out Ender's Game or Ender's Shadow, I would suggest you read the book, the actual novel, but hey, it's a lot of words. If you don't have the time, check out Ender's Game Battle School first, and then Ender's Game Command School, which is coming out now. Now, let's take a break from the comic books real quick, and want to show you something I received as a gift, which I thought was really cool. It's a comic book wallet. You can see it right there. It's actually I believe that's Plastic Man right there in the corner. I'm not really a DC guy, but I'm pretty sure that's Plastic Man. It's not technically comics, but it is folded. It'll last for a while because it's kind of a plasticky paper feel. I don't know how to exactly explain that. I just want to thank Rain over at the View Askew Boards for hooking me up with this. But you can pick it up at dynomighty.com. That's dynomighy.com, and it's called the Mighty Wallet. If you're interested, it's $15, I think. But yeah, really cool, and thanks for the gift. I appreciate that. Next up, we have Web of Spider-Man, issue number 1. Now, hey, I love Spider-Man. It's not a secret. Amazing Spider-Man, one of my favorite books. It's been really consistently good up until like 2 weeks ago, but let's forget about that. So I'm definitely going to check out every new Spider-Man book that comes out on the market pretty much. So, unsurprisingly, I picked up the first issue of Web of Spider-Man. Now, here's the thing. One of the few Spider-Man books of the past couple years that I haven't checked out, even the first issue of, was Amazing Spider-Man Family. Now, like I said, I never read it, but I do recall it was like smaller stories, Mayday Parker, all these things, where it was like, hey, little bits and pieces from the Spider-Man universe put all in one book, so you get a little of each. Apparently that's also what this is. This is 3 stories. The first one is about Kane, the spider clone with cellular degeneration due to his cloning, and it's actually a very good story about him. The art's good. It's a bit 90s. It really makes me, reminds me of I think it was called Spider-Man Revelations, which had art by John Romita Jr., so it feels kind of like his stuff, especially mid-90s. And as a person who's read most of those stories about Kane, it was awesome to see the little nods to different things. If you've never read those stories, it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense to you in parts, but it'll introduce you to the character of Kane. The second story is about Mayday Parker from the M2 universe, which I know almost zero about. I mean, I know the setup, what if Peter and Mary Jane didn't lose the baby? Peter's got a broken leg, walks with a cane, and she's Spider-Man, but she wears the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume, which is an awesome costume. I didn't really care for the story. I kind of skimmed it. It felt very 90s in its writing, and not in a good way at all. And I know I keep comparing things to the 90s, but hey, let's face it, it's got a very distinctive style. So that wasn't really doing it for me. Didn't feel like a very good introduction, which I've seen other people say as well, so at least I'm not alone. And the final story is about Spider-Man, and I think the character's name is Frogman. Yeah, the Fabulous Frogman. I'm sure it was a fine story. I can't get past that art. I feel like I'm 4 years old if I'm reading something like that, and it's not bad, it's just really don't want to read that too much. I think I'll give it a few more issues, but I'm not really interested in the whole bits and pieces thing. I don't care about Mayday Parker, at all. I know there's a small contingency out there that just loves the character. I am not of that contingency. So, hey, I mean, I'll definitely pick it up if it's crossing over with Amazing or something like that, but otherwise, I don't think this book is for me. And finally, we have Deadpool, issue 900, which I damaged last night, so the cover's already coming off, but oops, still a cover. I don't know if you can really see, but there's mimes in certain areas, because he's fighting mimes in one of the many stories in this book. If you like Deadpool at all, check out this book. That's, right off the bat, pick up the book. It is probably around 10 smaller stories. I didn't actually count, but, and they all have a little, they're all good in their own way. Let's put it that way. Now, I read the first half, and I posted right on Twitter, hey, not really feeling this one, but let me say, from the second half on, it's really good. And I hadn't really read the first half. It was like the first two stories. I could do without the reprint. The last story is a reprint. I've said it before, I don't like the way Deadpool used to be written. I did at the time, but now that he's written in this new way with the multiple personalities, you can't go back. I mean, it's so much better now. But you get a story drawn by Liefeld and written by Joe Kelly. You get a story about Deadpool on a cruise ship having a ping pong battle with Dr. Octopus. You get all kinds of crazy stuff in this book. The mime story itself is like 2 or 3 pages long, I think, but that was really fun. Check it out. It's $5, yes, but it's 102 pages, or 4 pages, 104 pages. It's worth your $5. And for those of you who don't follow the monthly solicitations, Deadpool 900 will be followed up next month by Deadpool Team Up issue 899, and so on. So I will be following this as a third monthly Deadpool series, which is excessive, but hey, it's a great character, and as long as it continues to be written very well, I see no reason not to buy it. So that's it for the comics I read the week of October 14th, 2009, but hey, I just got Twitter because I was really bored. So if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me at twitter.com/JordanFromNJ. I couldn't fit Jordan from Jersey. They had a character limit. So Jordan from NJ. Follow me, hit me up on Twitter. I'll tweet my thoughts on comics as I read them. Maybe. We'll see. And just regular inane stuff that's posted on Twitter because, let's face it, that's what it's for. See you later.